to mundo fine, night train to the end. Running hard and running fast to meet my future and away from my past. Taking the gamble that cannot last. Night train to the end.
This is the Frater SH Night Show, and this article is Ghost Hunters Investigate Haunted Tales of Crofton's ARGO Hotel. Crofton, Nebraska, tales of ghosts and other spooky happenings go hand in hand with old buildings that have seen their share of history. Crofton's historic ARGO Hotel Bed and Breakfast has been here for more than 100 years, and there are probably hundreds of ghost stories to go with it. Guest employees of this historic hotel for years have reported strange sounds and sightings, mysterious laughter and music, glasses fallen for no apparent reason, and sightings of strangers who disappear upon second glance. Often there's no proof to provide the skeptics until now, perhaps. ARGO Hotel owners Frank and Megan Marsh opened the historic property up this summer to the paranormal investigators from Ghost Hunters, a TV show that explored haunted sites for 14 seasons. What they found inside ARGO is haunting. Before divulging their findings, a little about the Marshes and ARGO's colorful past. The ARGO Hotel opened in 1912 when Crofton was a booming railroad town. The boom passed, but the beautiful brick ARGO has persevered. The remaining visible is a doctor's office, and since 1994, various forms of a bed and breakfast and restaurant run by different owners. It is also once a sanatorium offering medical treatments, some of them experimental. If you believe that the old tales and rumors, you see where it is going. The Marshes knew nothing about the ARGOs or many ghost stories when buying it in 2018. I don't think it would have hindered us at the time. I would have scoffed about them, Frank said. Historical carpenters Frank and Megan the Marshes knew nothing about ARGO's many ghost stories when buying it in 2018. I don't think it would have hindered us at the time. I would have scoffed about them, Frank said. Historical carpenters Frank and Megan buy, remodel, and sell historical properties, moving from one project to another. It didn't take long for them to become acquainted with the strange goings-on that have been rumored to occur inside the ARGO. While unpacking the first night they moved in, Frank and Megan began arguing in the main floor dining room. As their voices rose, they heard breaking glass in the bar area in the back. They stopped arguing to investigate, finding a glass that had fallen off a wine rack and shattered. A week later, as Frank was working on the building, the town's police officer pulled up to introduce himself, tipping Frank off to the hotel's haunted reputation. He said, "Have you seen anything?" Frank said. I said, "No." He said, "You will." As they remodeled the ARGO from the top to the bottom, the Marshes operated as a traditional bed and breakfast. It's 9 guest rooms available on weekends from April to 1st of November. Over and over, guests reported hearing carousel or circus music in one of the rooms. So many guests in the honeymoon suite reported the bathroom door opening and moving. Frank finally removed the door and replaced it with a curtain. So when a Ghost Hunters producer emailed the Marshes in early spring asking them if they would be interested in being featured, they were game, and figuring the publicity would be good for business and help them find a buyer, since they put the ARGO, its restoration complete, up for sale. We decided it would be good press no matter what. For us, it would let's get some of these stories out there. In late July, the Ghost Hunters team, Jason Hawes, Steve Gonzalez, along with other guest investigators, 20 crew members, they interviewed Frank and Megan's former guests, employees, and others around town. They set up their instruments in the Argo and cut the power and spent a few nights inside. In the 42-minute episode, the ghost hunters are seen stalking out the first and second floors in the basement speakeasy, seeking evidence of spirits. In the suspense-filled show, they are seen making contact with a former employee's dead husband, who was never seen but communicated through a series of knocks in response to questions, ultimately telling them that to let his wife know he was okay. The investigators heard a few strange sounds and jumped up after feeling something brush against them. Lights on their instruments seemed to indicate the presence of a woman who had died in the hotel long ago, perhaps guiding against any show's secrets getting out ahead of time. The crew told the Marshes that none of this when leaving. After 5 days at the Argo, we thought that they had found nothing. When we watched the show, it was a totally different story, Frank said. Frank and Megan learned the findings along with the other viewers when the episode first streamed on January 8th on Discovery Plus streaming service. There is such a thing as paranormal activity, then it certainly is at the Argo, Frank said at the Ghost Hunters' final verdict. Frank hasn't totally bought into the idea of ghosts in the building, but enough strange happenings continue that his mind remains open. Now and then one of Argo's extremely sensitive motion detectors will sound, but when Frank checks the video monitor, there's no one there. It is enough to keep him and Megan from blowing off talk of paranormal activities. We give it its credit, Frank said. The Ghost Hunters episode likely will bolster the Argo's ranking. It's Nebraska's #1 haunted hotel, though the Marshes market only its turn-of-the-century atmosphere, not its supernatural qualities. And that is it for a very short show, and